after dark. We are the spirits that haunt Rochester throughout history and have gathered for an evening of fright. Mortals are not welcome. We are Gwei, and we are ghost cats. We have traveled from the Himalayas, where snow leopards haunt the mountainside. We are here to guide you through the horrors that plague our zoo, so that you can meet some animals that lurk in the dark. I must warn you, this journey is not for the faint of heart. In order to make it out alive, we will need to follow some guidelines. We will be walking the entire length of the zoo in many areas that are dark. If you have flashlights, please use them to help you ride or walk along the way. Do not shine your flashlights into any of the animal habitats. When we are trying to see an animal, flashlights are to go off and only our flashlights will be used. Anyone that leaves the group will be escorted out of the zoo. Please do not wear costume masks, yell or scream, hit the glass or fences, as this will scare the animals away and they will not be visible for our tour. Are you ready to journey through the zoo and see which species lurk in the dark? Beware of the spirits that are along the way.
We will also warn you guys, there will be some other people along our way that may or may not be kind of jumping out at us. So prepare yourself. They are supposed to be here. It is okay. Try your best not to maybe scream at the top of your lungs, just because, again, that might scare off the animals. But we don't know exactly where they are either, so it's going to be a spook for all of us. So we'll get going.
I gotta take off my iPad first. Now I'm scared. I see video.
Great. You want me to carry the baby?
Nope.
You want me to do it?
Nope. Giraffes only need 30 minutes or something. She didn't finish.
Sleep.
I'm filming me.
I'm filling the giraffes. You just photo. No, you just photobombed. Timber's doing. This is a lie.
That was a hardy group of adventurers. Much more sturdy than the last group. Hopefully you have a better time than the last time I was out on an adventure and caught a fever. The captain didn't want the rest of the... I'll tell you more up here. The captain, after these guys talk, but the captain didn't want the rest of his crew to get sick, so he dropped me off on a tropical island. I didn't know if I was going to make it, but one of the native women nursed me back to health. Unfortunately for me, she thought she was nursing me back to husband. I was able to escape and continue my adventures, which I'll tell you more of.
Welcome to the Conservation Graveyard, a place to make the memories of species long gone and species that will soon be gone forever. We are currently in the midst of a mass extinction. Species are becoming endangered and extinct at an alarming rate, with the processes set up by climate change, pollution, habitat loss, and poaching. Help reverse this trend and take action to save species. That is, if you make it out of here alive.
No, I didn't get a chance to introduce myself earlier. My name's Henry Ward. The name Ward might sound familiar if any of you have taken a science class. I started the company Ward Supply, Ward Scientific Supply, so that I can provide stuff for geology, chemistry, and physics classes, and biology even. But that's more towards the end of my story. At the beginning, I was an adventurer just like you, starting at 10 years old, where I found this really interesting rock. And I wanted to show my teacher so bad, I rushed up to him and said, "Look at this rock that I found." But apparently the graduation ceremony that was happening at the time that I interrupted was much more important than my rock, though I disagreed. But that did not deter me, and I found my way, found some friends in college that allowed me to explore the world through the Mediterranean and Europe and the Middle East, and collect different types of rocks and basalt and fossils and replicas of diamonds and other things that I was able to bring back to Rochester, start the Ward's Natural Science Museum. That way you didn't all have to travel the world to see these things. You could just come to my museum. Now, one of my favorite things was this full-size stuffed gorilla who was very popular in the museum. But he made his way over to Vassar College. They dressed him more modestly in a pair of pants. Luckily, hopefully he did better than I did in college. But I did want to at least try to spark people's curiosity in learning about these things so that these types of things don't happen. We did lose a number of animals to extinction. Right? They are trying to clone a woolly mammoth, but that's really not the way to go. But by recognizing these other animals that are threatened, like our giraffe over here, or rhino and the elephant, we can do things to help save them. But one recent success story where humans stepped in to help was the black-footed ferret was becoming extinct in Colorado, where its food supply was threatened. So by bringing a bunch of them in captivity and then releasing them, they can restart their own population out there. Hopefully we can have some more of those success stories. But I do fare you well, turn you back over to your spirit guide, and wish you happy adventuring and stay curious.
It is now time for us to brave the darkness before more spirits descend on us.
I was there last year, Stacy. The graveyard.
I'm not sure if he's out here tonight, but our rhino's name is Leeway. He'll be 5 in December. He's still fairly small, but the southern white rhino was technically declared extinct in the very late 1800s. They just thought they were gone
He's
forever,
not out.
like so many of our other animals. Scientists discovered a group of less than 100 of them at that time, and they put in all their resources that they can to bring them back through a project called Project Rhino. And now today there are over 20,000 of them. So we will tell you lots of sad and spooky things tonight, but one of them that is not so sad and spooky is that if we really commit, we can bring species back from the verge of extinction. So don't let anything get you too down about that kind of stuff.
The Canadian goose laughing. So now you're stuck over there, right? In that barn?
Yeah.
Although they are the largest living mammal, they are weirdly quiet when they walk around, especially at nighttime when you can't see them. So if you hear any kind of rustling, they're outside, you may see them as we go by.
Come here, Kenny.
I thought you were doing something. God damn it. You're gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right. You can smell them.
Gotta hide me on it.
Right.
Doesn't it?
Although on the topic of kind of weird and creepy and sometimes gross, let's talk about elephant poop,
Oh
which
no.
is one of my all-time favorite things. Their poop, there's a lot of it, all over the place, right? It's huge, it's stinky, and if you look really closely at it, if you're weird like me, you can actually see lots of little seeds and grasses that go through undigested.
Ah.
So elephants are a mega
Yes.
herbivore. They can eat over 150 pounds of food every single day for just one elephant. Out in the African savanna, that means they're taking out a lot of that vegetation. But as they're walking, they're pooping and basically replant it as they go. So yes, it's kind of gross, but it's also a good way to keep that ecosystem nice and healthy.
Yummy.
This is where I flipped. Oh, that's
Yes, go
freaking
ahead.
thank
Certainly.
you.
Might be a little bit chilly for them today. Although our troop consists of 10 baboons, out in nature they can be found in troops of up to 300. And they are very strong, they're omnivorous, they have very sharp teeth, very sharp claws, and that's not something you'd want to meet up with out in Africa.
They stole people's cars.
Very aggressive.
You ever watch a video where they ransack somebody's car? Yeah.
Keeps rubbing on the wheels.
Looks like somebody had some trouble here this evening. We won't get too close to that.
Oh, it's a bone. Ah, it's there, maybe.
We are now approaching the king of predators, the lion. Please remember to only shine your flashlights if you have them on the ground and not into the habitat. Lions are feared by mankind. They are an ultimate predator. Lions have extremely muscular hind legs, which they allows them to leap onto their predators from 35 feet away. They have massive paws with large claws and enormous sharp teeth for grabbing onto and ripping into their prey. Lions hunt at night, hiding in the brush in the dark. Their stealth allows for them to remain undetected as they stalk their prey. Male lions spend their lives fighting to obtain a pride and then defending their pride from other males. Their main work is the defense against other males. They will go to the throat when fighting. If the intruding male wins, he will often kill that pride so that all captures only from him. Humans have revered lions throughout history because of their immense power and agility. Even though they are feared predators, lions are crucial in regulating herbivore populations to prevent habitat degradation.
It's over here.
And if you are brave enough after seeing these limbs here, you may go into the bus briefly. Again, make sure you do not shine your flashlight or use flash photography in there, but you can get right up on the other side of our beautiful lioness, Zuri, in there.
I think the male is over there.
Zuri herself is also quite the force. She is much larger in stature than a typical female lioness would be. Something a little bit creepy for our male lion, Chester, in here is that she has absolutely no interest in breeding with him ever. He has made advances, he has succeeded with her other lioness, and she just shuts him down every single time. That's okay.
Good for her.
Alright, once we are all set, we will head around to the other side and see if we can find our other two lions, because right now, I only see one out of the three.
I believe the male is over in the
Oh my god, the lion was watching that person.
Right up by the building.
Look at that.
I like lions so much. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that's where all the limbs came from. We better keep moving.
That sounds like me. I love lions so much, I died.
This is 35 feet. If you were a lion, you could leap from one side to the other with barely any effort. Towards the back on there.
I don't know.
The other light from the screen is kind of glowing on her.
What? You have
Kevin's gonna throw me. No. Kevin, where are you going? Kevin, the lion's not over there, it's over there. Kevin, what are you doing? I want to see the lions. That person sounds like me. I love lions so much, I died.
Here is our male on this side here. You can see that big, gorgeous mane of his. Here he is.
Oh, wow.
Now they do the majority of their hunting at nighttime. This is the time of evening they would typically be most active. Lucky for these guys, they don't have to hunt too hard for their food. Although we do like to hide it in boxes and make it a little bit difficult for them, so they use all of those crazy adaptations of their powerful jaws and their long claws. But Chester is close to about 400 pounds right now, so he looks
My
fairly
phone.
cute. That's
We gotta
not
go
where you wanna
around.
get too close.
We're gonna go this way.
Yes, I'm sorry, there's only a ramp on one side here.
Oh, Joe, he's moving. Oh, where's he going? Oh yeah, you can definitely see him through the window. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is the fun part of it. This is why I said I didn't want to bring my scooter.
I got it.
You sure? You sure about that, Kevin? Do I need to push myself? I could do it. I just can't record.
Go down the stairs.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at Asha. She's never up there during the day. Kevin, don't run over people, please.
I don't know people. I'm trying to get you over there. Taking a shortcut.
Where's Chester? I saw him moving.
Yeah, he got up as soon as I walked out.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your leg? So I said about it.
I'm about to stand up.
Yeah, we like to change it up as often as we can. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Kevin, look at that capture.
All right,
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's on night vision mode, so it gets
Awesome.
blurry. Oh, we're moving.
Ready?
Yes.
Oh, he's looking at you. He's looking.
Don't flip the phone.
He's like, what the hell are you doing? This thing's been closed.
Yeah, let's go.
See a good picture?
Yes. I was recording, Kevin. I've been recording this whole time.
Oh, you're just continuously recording?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I like making long videos. Because, Kevin, you can't make money if it's less than 10 minutes long. Did you know that?
I thought people prefer shorter videos.
Nope.
No one's got patience anymore.
It's all because of TikTok. TikTok took that short stuff.
Ah, okay.
You have to have TikTok if you want to do short videos.
The bumpy road, James. Sorry.
Yep.
We're going off road.
The goat has escaped. There's no scary facts about the goats, because the goats are goats. Unless you say it's related to Miley Cyrus.
What about the man in the wheelchair that wants to do it only at nighttime?
Yeah.
You hear the wheels moving. I'd never see it until it's too late.
Some say he's high on opium. Shoot, I should not post that on YouTube.
Death is right.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Hang on a second.
Nice and fresh. It's my husband's favorite.
Ooh.
It's got apple and cinnamon and sugar and what else did I put in there? Oh yeah, arsenic and cyanide. Would you like some? It's real. Next time, it's real good. It was the last thing he ate before he died. So must have been his favorite, right?
Your favorite?
Yeah? Yeah? Do you want some?
Sometimes.
No, you don't?
Nah.
Not right now? All kinds of
Sponsored though.
It's probably a meat pie that they made for one of the animals, Kevin. We bless the rains down in Africa. Kevin, that laugh is scary.
Oh, they're scary in the daylight.
And can tower over us at 11 feet tall. Their massive size and enormous teeth and paws make them a formidable predator. Not to mention that they can smell you from up to 20 miles away. So there is nowhere to hide. Imagine if you could smell your pizza dinner all the way out in Rockport. Make sure to lower your carbon footprint since polar bears are dependent on sea ice to live. As it melts, they are forced on land closer to humans. Then their prey often shifts from seals to berries and small land animals and even humans.
Kevin, those poor Canadians.
In July of 1881, 25 men set off on an expedition to try to reach the North Pole. In August of that year, they reached base camp at Lady Franklin Bay with everything they would need for the first 2 years of a 3-year expedition. Unfortunately, owing to bad planning, supply ships that failed to arrive, and other unforeseen circumstances, the men were desperate. Greeley made the decision to relocate camp south to a rendezvous point where he was sure supplies had been offloaded. The men traveled 1 month, and when they reached there, they found 60 days of rations that had been hastily thrown overboard when a supply ship and her crew sank. 60 days of supplies, 24 men, you do the math. One by one, men began to die of starvation. One man was shot for stealing another man's bits of food. All in all, about a year after help arrived, or after they relocated, help finally arrived and found 6 survivors huddled on the shore, chewing on shoe leather. The barely living, the bodies of the many dead, including our Lieutenant Kislinbury, were sent back to their hometowns, and when Lieutenant Kislinbury's coffin reached Rochester, it was sealed shut with 52 bolts, and came with strict instructions from the Army that it was not to be opened under any circumstances, and must be interred immediately. 20,000 people gathered on the steps of the Monroe County Courthouse to pay their respects, and Lieutenant Kislinbury was laid to rest. But questions still arose. 60 days worth of supplies, almost a year. How did that produce any survivors, let alone 6? That's when rumors of cannibalism began to arise. In fact, some wondered if there were even any remains in the caskets at all. The Rochester Post newspaper offered to pay for an exhumation, and 4 days after he was buried, Lieutenant Kislinbury was dug up. Oh, he was in his coffin, what was left of him. 50 pounds of remains, wrapped in a wool blanket. There was no skin on the body and very little flesh from the neck down. Doctors determined that the flesh had been methodically carved away from his bones. Yes, Lieutenant Kislinbury, he died in the Arctic, but he was not eaten by a polar bear. He was devoured by his fellow man.
On that uplifting note, it is now time for us to escape into the darkness.
Kevin, you know that story was true? I heard about that story.
Yeah.
So, can I say about
Just the moaning of somebody dying, and they just don't care.
Welcome to the creepy crawly cave. We now will enter. Please make sure you have your mask on to protect our beautiful cave witch in here, and we will see what she has in store.
Yo, Gretchen isn't here. Put my Canadian mask on. I'm ready, Kevin.
Thank you.
What witch?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh. Kevin.
Why not working out? So
Yeah.
you're singing it to her.
I can't see with my glasses.
Except for the music.
What? Oh God. You're right, the music.
Welcome all to my cave. My creatures have been dying to eat, I mean meet you all. Come get a good look into the darkness.
Kevin, bring it closer.
I have some friends to show you. Over here, I have my hissing roaches. These guys are the ultimate creepy crawlies who haven't evolved since the time of the dinosaurs. Take a good look. Their heads can be chopped off and they can walk it off no problem, go on to live a whole week. They can withstand nuclear radiation 100 times more than the human body can. These guys may be creepy and crawly, but they are important. They decompose dead plant matter and they're an important food source for other animals. Over here are my marvelous millipedes. If you see close, these guys can have up to 600 or more creepy crawling legs. These legs are used to traverse around the forest floor and eat rotting plants. To avoid being eaten, they create a nasty cyanide poison inside their bodies. These guys go on to live, to decompose plant matters, and help replenish the forests. And last, my favorite creature, the tarantula. These arachnids have 8 legs, but if you look closely at Rosie, she appears to have 10. These extra appendages in the front of her face are her pedipalps, which help her feel across the floor. In the back, these 2 appendages are her spinnerets, which allow her to weave her silk. Close to her mouth, she has 2 more appendages called chelicerae. They help her inject her prey with a neurotoxin, paralyzing them and keeping them still. From there, she injects them with enzymes to help melt their insides. She then drinks up their gooey insides like a bug smoothie. These guys help keep our bug populations down, so they're quite important. Now, I'd love to add some more creepy crawlies to my collection, and you guys are looking quite interesting.
No, none of these people are for you.
Why?
Let us continue on, Teen Witch, as beautiful as you are.
Thank you for joining
I
me in
don't
my
know what
creepy
that
crawlies.
I don't know. Yes. No, my feet were up. I just didn't know what that was. I felt something hit me.
Oh, yeah. Now, the dangerous time of tour, going through the doors.
Yo. Where's the sea lions?
Will I hit you with a door?
Probably.
Oh, no.
Duh.
That just took the fear out of me.
Yep. Oh, if they...
Oh, here we go.
God.
Here, I got this.
Have you seen my daughter?
No.
She ran off with her boyfriend.
She's right here. She's right here. Come. She's looking for her daughter.
Oh, she's right here. What her father said.
All right.
Caitlin, we're only kidding.
Oh, Kevin, look at this great view. I could edit and maybe... Nope. Oh, it just popped in.
Let me get up the hill first.
Yeah.
For the desk.
Kevin, I got more.
Oh, no.
Kevin, I'm done with you. Kevin, we're too far away from the tour. I can't hear. Jesus. Oh, they're talking about the crane. The construction.
Look at the moon to the trees.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
The
it's...
moon to the trees, too.
Imagine going in there late at night.
Speaking of scary, those are 2 probably our most frightening cats that we have at the zoo, even though they are small and adorable. We are not going to shine our light in there because we are not going to pester them this evening, but just know they are in there and they are watching you.
There we are.
They scream like humans. They're like, "Ah!" Yeah, Kevin, I'm gonna show you that video of them. They literally sound like humans.
Okay. It's all yours.
Hello. Okay, let's see. Some. No, hold on.
Adventures, you would not want to find yourself in the middle of the woods surrounded by a pack of them. The 2 we have here are brother and sister. Out in nature, you'd find them in packs of around 7 to 10.
Did you get him?
I tried to. Some of them don't pop out. The lions got the lions really popped out for odd reason. You could. There, it's.
I don't want to do
I'm sure she's back there keeping her eye on us. But again, you see her?
Let me get a little wheelchair flips
Her name is Katya.
I'll control it.
Say what?
You want me to control it?
This is the largest living tiger, similar to our lions, but some would say better. They are not only very good at hiding, jumping and ambushing, they're also excellent climbers, and they love to swim. So if you ever get in a place where you're too close to a tiger, you're going to have a hard time finding a way out of that. We will continue on to our next cat species.
Why does that keep... Oh, it's the wheel. The wheel just keeps hitting me for a reason. I guess I gotta keep my... That happened with Kevin. Kevin, I didn't see that. I'm sad. Kevin, they said a false information. The biggest lot...
It is thought that snow leopards are a type of vampire, sucking the blood of their victim before eating it and then returning to the mountains and then the clouds. Snow leopards are solitary and camouflage into rocky terrain of the Himalayan mountains. They are also an ambush predator, which means that they wait and use stealth to catch their prey. Snow leopards utilize reverse stalking, which is where they walk backwards through their tracks, which makes them seem to disappear without a trace. All of this makes them difficult to locate. Many people can be looking directly at a mountainside and not see the snow leopard that is right there. This causes the misconception that snow leopards are ghosts. Snow leopards are thought to be vampires because of their hunting methods. After catching their prey, they do not tear them apart and create a mess. They allow the blood to drain out of their prey into the ground, making it so the animal remains do not have any blood, creating the misconception that the leopards suck their blood from them. Whether or not snow leopards are ghosts or vampires, they are an important apex predator, helping to control populations. And this is our gorgeous male Kaba. He's about 9 years old right now, and he does only have one eye, and he does just fine that way. He did have an ulcer that ruptured in it, so our veterinary staff removed it, and he's much more comfortable now. And even with that one eye, he is still an excellent hunter. We have lots of areas where we can hang things for him. There's a big bungee in the middle there, and when he sees something hanging on there, sometimes it's a chicken. It's not a live chicken, but it is a full chicken, feathers and all. He does go right over to it. He jumps up on it and gets his really sharp, long claws into it and really rips it up like he should be doing. So he is absolutely wonderful. We do also have 2 other snow leopards because they are typically solitary in nature. We only have one out at a time. If you see somebody down there. So our other snow leopards are Tamila. She is our adult female. We also have a snow leopard cub who recently got the name Kenji. And he has been out and about once in a while out here too. We do have a backyard area that's like this but a bit smaller. It's off exhibit for the public, so they can have kind of their own area back there with some privacy, and we also have a large building with lots of different areas for them in there. So that's where the other 2 are right now. And we do rotate them out throughout the day. All right, let's move on and keep your eyes on Kaba because he may very well follow us. They are mainly crate hunters who are the most active earlier in the morning and pretty much this time of night. This cooler weather is also excellent.
Oh, sorry. My hat is so long, but
It's about 5 inches thick. So they don't let the just take a little of it.
Can you get me up to the glass, Nana?
What?
The glass. I'll try to. Ooh.
And it looks like he may have stayed in his corner over there, but this gives you a really great look at all the different places he could possibly be hiding in here. Here's that big bungee we like to hang things off of. Those guys can get right up here on this log. They have lots of rocks, a big ledge up here that they perch on, and they are extremely, extremely stealthy. All right, we will continue on to our next stop.
doesn't capture well. Oh, I do see he's walking right now, but no, let's go. Every time you back it up, the wheel hits me.
Yeah, am I right? Let me take over.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sure.
Or Kevin, Jesus.
Well, I don't live in
Oh,
You want to take a look? Kevin, you can do
don't
it.
freaking speed up right here.
Go around.
Holy cow. There's another lip right here. I clenched onto the chair.
Good. I don't need to see no more of that.
I'll actually probably land at my feet, but that's a bad idea.
So would your forehead, like my mother.
Kevin, I think they're right. We're almost done with the zoo. It's almost about 37 minutes. What? What's that? Alright, I'm getting ready for...
Stop here for a second, bro.
What?
I gotta
Oh,
mess
nice.
with
Okay, you're right.
it. There we can go.
Oh, don't. Oh.
Definitely strike fear in humans. Burmese pythons can grow up to 25
Don't need
feet
it,
long
right.
and weigh up to 200 pounds. Those that reach 200 pounds can eat prey as large as a deer. Coloration allows them to camouflage, to be ambush predators.
Nighttime
Surprising
white
their prey,
encore.
they will never know when the snake is there. Burmese pythons can also hold their breath underwater for up to 30 minutes. You may be swimming and never know they are right underneath you. Pythons have 4 rows of teeth in the top and 2 rows of teeth on the bottom, letting them grab onto their prey and instantly wrapping around them to kill. It has been proven in studies that they do not suffocate their prey. Instead, they give it a heart attack. Wrapping around their prey instantly crushes it, pushing all of the prey's blood to its core, causing the heart to explode. But while pythons constrict their prey, there are also snakes that utilize venom to slowly kill their victims. There are actually 3 species of venomous snakes in upstate New York.
Oh, I can tell you about poisonous snakes. I survived 33 bites, 29 from rattlers, 4 from copperheads, but I get ahead of myself. My name's Pete Gruber, but everybody knows me as Rattlesnake Pete. I grew up out in Oil City, PA, outside Pittsburgh, the eldest of 9 kids. When I was young, I'd hang out with my friends in the hills and woods near town. It was there that we first encountered the native woman who trained me in all things snakes. I kept many of my snakes on display in Pop's restaurant, where I helped out, and soon people were coming to me for all sorts of snake issues. My reputation was born, handling snakes and using their venom to treat ailments, as well as using the snakes themselves. Live snakes could draw out the ill humors. That was my thing. People would flock to the restaurant for help with gout, goiters, inflammation, blood poisoning, and the like. And my snakes, handled by yours truly, helped them out. After Bob died, I wanted to start my own place. I tried Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and Buffalo, but I needed to be able to keep my snakes on the premises, and those cities wouldn't allow it. I finally settled on joining my sister here in Rochester. The year was 1893, and I was 34 years old. I soon found a place to set up shop in the heart of downtown on Mill Street, behind the Reynolds Arcade Building and across from Corinthian Hall. Several business people tried to discourage me from doing this, because there were a couple of gangs of hooligans who made trouble and ran rackets in the area. Let them come, I said. One night, the Arcade Push and the Hard Cider Gang both showed up to try to extort me. I had my largest snake around my neck, my 2 St. Bernards by my side, and I stood waiting for them. I had no fear, but they were quite upset with the sight of me and took off pretty quick. They never bothered me again. Although it wasn't really why I chose Rochester, I had landed in a place with a rich history of snakes. Did you know that before Nathaniel Rochester and his partners purchased this land, that there had never been a settlement, native, British, French, or American, where the heart of Rochester lies? The land was written off as snake-infested swamp. And although by the time I got here, they had largely rid the city proper of rattlesnake population, the surrounding farms, especially those along the river, south, and the creeks that feed into it, still had unpleasant encounters. I farmed myself out, so to speak, ready, willing, and able to solve anyone's snake problems. Many times there weren't any snakes to be found, but there were enough that I became a bit of a local hero. People sought me out from around the world. The saloon was a hit. I spoke in New York City several times and had people contact me from Paris, Africa, and the Orient. If somebody was bit by a snake, they often sent to me for advice. I also continued my healing practices. I built a huge persona around snakes. I had a snakeskin suit, hat, and shoes. The suit had buttons made from rattles. I had an ornate snaky cane and a tie clasp made of a 1-inch fang. The horn of my red rambler was a 6-foot long klaxon, ending in a striking snake head. The saloon was more than that, though. I collected curiosities from around the world. A 2-headed calf, an Egyptian mummy, jars and jars of pickled brains, a 3,000-pound stuffed Percheron horse, the first electric chair, and automatons and other coin-operated curiosities. I loved those. This was truly a saloon of wonders. Eventually, they got rid of most of Rochester's snakes, but watch out south of here, especially near the big gorge at Letchworth. You can still find timber and eastern Massasauga rattlers there. And you know, I'm not around to help anyone who gets bit.
All right, friends, it is now time for us to slither back out into the darkness after meeting, I believe, our last ghost.
Oh, yeah.
However, we do still have some treachery.
Watch out for the handicap.
Watch out for the guy who's in a wheelchair because of a broken toe. Yeah, he's more insane. What?
Yeah, was that you?
Can you run that by me again? Can we get up? Okay, there we go. No, that'll be ableism. There'll be.
Okay.
Kevin, it.
Fine. My cat is scared.
Hey Kevin, right there on that rock, I got one of my senior pictures. It does not look like the way I remembered it. There's a lot of sticks. Yep, Kevin. I don't. This is.
The trail, okay?
Yes, you're on the trail. No, you don't want to go this way. You do not want to go this way.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin, how was it?
That was the scariest thing else. Oh, somebody's underneath the bridge.
It's the troll. Yes, we do.
Why? Afraid of...
Kevin, they said they'll kick us out of the zoo.
Okay, that could...
Kevin, they're gonna kick us right in the butt and punt us into the space. Caution. Oh, we have Gretchen's here. I was hoping to see her. Watch out for that.
Yeah, if you have not had cider or donuts yet, you can get some. If you have had them, get some more. So there's plenty for you everyone.
Oh, Kevin.
I told you, Kenny. I told you to get the donuts before so we had more later.
Watch out for this.
Yeah, intentionally aiming at every ditch that's crashed.
Oh, look at that mood. Well, Kevin,